Hey everybody, it's so good to see you today. What I want to do is go through some tips on scheduling and time blocking. But here's the thing, this is so much bigger than just like organizational tips and tricks. What this is when you're scheduling and you're time blocking, it's important that you have a destination in mind. It's just like when you're planning a vacation. We if we're excited about and we are energized around where we're going, then the planning and the prep for it and the work of it, of getting ready for it, is so much easier to do because we're so excited about what plans and what destination that we have in store. So what I want to challenge you guys to do is really think big about what it is you want your month to look like. When the end of the month comes, you want to be able to look back and say, number one, I knew where I was headed, and number two, I put all of the plans into place through the course of the month to get me there. So it's really, really important that you do not waste your life. So without a solid plan, you will waste your life away, and days and weeks and months will go by with little to no progress in both your life and your business. So it is so important to know where you want to take your life. Know where you want to take your business so that you don't look up in 1 month or 3 months or 6 months and look back and think, I haven't, like, what have I even been doing? That's why planning and preparing, scheduling, and time blocking is so important. You want to become a boss with your schedule. And when you do that, you're going to be able to create an abundant business and an abundant life that you'll be a conscious creator. It's going to be something that you knew where you were going, you knew what your dreams, your goals, your wishes were, and then you put the steps in place to actually get there. So what happens though is we all have several mistakes that we make that lead to self-sabotage when it comes to planning our schedule. The first thing is we try to do way too many things in one day. Your to-do list cannot be a mile long. You guys, internally, when you have too much to do, like more than is even possible to do in a day, it creates anxiety. A lot of times anxiety leads to paralysis, where you're so overwhelmed that you just don't do anything. So don't let your list in one given day be too long. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to guard against that. The next thing is, maybe you're really, really good at making really, really pretty schedules, lots of stickers and pretty markers and drawings and all of these things, which a lot of people are really good at that. So it looks super duper pretty, but it's not productive. You're not actually doing what you wrote down and what you have designed to do for the week. Pretty is not going to get you to your goals. If you've got this most scribbled on, messed up calendar, but you're actually doing the things that you have on each day, that's going to be way better than a pretty calendar. So don't worry so much about it being pretty, just make sure that you're being productive. Set a commitment to yourself that you're going to do what you put down and make it happen. The other thing is, a lot of times we say yes to everything. Somebody asks us for something, we say yes. Maybe it's something on a personal level, coming to a party, taking a meal to a family, all good things. But you guys, you have to create time between when you're asked and when you commit. And the way you do that is just say, you know what, that sounds great, but let me check my family calendar, or let me check my business calendar and make sure. Because if you do not want to schedule yourself so tight that you get back to that overwhelm paralysis, but you also want to make sure that creating that time between when you're asked and when you say yes allows you to be able to evaluate the opportunity and think, you know what, this level one of mine would like for me to do a Zoom for her. That is going to go toward me meeting my goals for the month. So that's a definite yes. Now, when I plug it into my schedule, you still need to check your calendar and make sure that you've got the right availability for them. But yeah, that aligns with my goals. That's an important thing to keep. But then maybe on the other hand, you might have something that does not align with your goals. Maybe it's maybe you're really good at training on a topic, and an entire another team would like for you to do that, but it doesn't work with your schedule this month. It doesn't align with your goals and what you're trying to accomplish this month. So it's okay to create some space there between the request and the commitment, and then really determine, if I say yes to this, is it getting me closer to my destination, to what I want to achieve in my life or in my business this month? And that works for both of those. Maybe you're doing all kinds of training your team, you're doing your own personal growth, you're listening to lots of videos, you're attending Motivation Mondays, you're attending every training opportunity that Plexus is putting out there, that your uplines are putting out there, but you're not doing your own personal income producing activity on a daily basis. You're not doing your reach outs and your follow-ups. That's important, you guys. You can't have all of your time be training and not be setting aside that time where you're doing your actual income producing activity to grow your personal level ones, grow your personal business. So make sure that you're not doing all training and no income producing activity. You also may find that you don't have structure or routine, or maybe you prefer to not have structure or routine. Maybe you pride yourself in being kind of a fly by the seat of my pants girl. Listen, it's good to be flexible, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but it is so important that you have some routine in your day, especially around when you're going to be working your business. Because what it will do is it will allow you to be more efficient with the time that you have, because you will know that this is the time that I've set aside, I'm going to work my business. And it actually doesn't create a rigid schedule. It really creates a lot more peace and flexibility for the rest of your day. You'll feel more freedom and calm for the rest of your day if you will have some structure and some routine around when and how you're working your business. And then another mistake that leads to self-sabotage is that you're not setting aside the time that you need to recharge. Listen, you are the engine that's driving your momentum train. So if you don't have steam, if you are feeling burned out or overwhelmed or whatever it might be, you're not going to be able to as effectively drive that train. And so I want to challenge you to don't let yourself fall to the bottom of your list. Set aside some time every single day where you can just really recharge and regroup and just help yourself to feel better as you are just doing the activities that you end up putting in place for your life and your business. Okay, so these are just some of the things that can cause mistakes that can lead to self-sabotage with regard to not only just planning and scheduling your time, but with helping you use that time, that valuable resource, to meet your goals. Now let's move on to, there we go, how you can set yourself up for success. So I'm going to give you 5 steps to set yourself up for success. The first one is grab a pen and paper. This is so important. And you can do this the last day of the month as you're planning for the coming month, and also on like maybe Sunday night or early Monday morning as you're planning for the coming week. So I would do both. I would have kind of a big picture look of the month ahead, but then also do this on a weekly basis to plan more in depth on a granular level for the week ahead. So you're going to want to do a brain dump. Get a piece of paper and a pen and dump everything out that needs to happen in the coming week, in the coming month. Some ideas would be appointments, team calls. You guys schedule every one of my team calls. We have these calls and my broader team call and book study every Tuesday. So make sure you go ahead and you schedule those out. If you have other uplines who are doing team calls, be sure and get those on your calendar. Any kind of training, you can look through the Motivation Mondays that Plexus puts on, or the Super Saturday Expresses that they do, and be sure that you get those on in your brain dump. Your income producing activities. So for this group, we have those 8 items that we need to be doing at least 4 times a week. So these are your 3 reach outs, your 4 follow-ups, feeding your faith, working with your 4%, helping your ambassadors to hit their next rank or their goals, whatever those could be. So you want to be sure and write down those things that you need to do. Family time, birthday celebrations, your chores, things like groceries, laundry, making beds, picking up around the house, unloading the dishwasher. That's something that you're doing, that you're spending your time with, that you've got to get down on paper. Phone calls you've got scheduled, or Zooms or FaceTimes, helping some of your level 1s or your leaders to hit their next rank. Then I also want you to think about your family time. I personally try to schedule at least some one-on-one time with every single one of my kids each day. Whether it's playing a game, reading a book, doing some craft or something that they enjoy, just some time one-on-one. Write that down. Going to the park, your exercise, setting aside a time for you to get your exercise in. One of the things on our list of 8 items is to listen to podcasts and to learn. And so you want to schedule that in throughout the week. Other webinars and things that you might have, personal topics that you're growing for your personal development. Schedule that in. Also, talking to your leaders, recognition. We should all always be finding opportunities to recognize people on our team. So schedule that in, or jot that down on your brain dump. Everything that you can think of that you need to do in order to get you to that destination, which is that goal that you have at the end of the month, you've got to get that down on paper, okay? Now, the next thing you want to do is identify what's essential and, by nature, what's not essential. If there are items on that list that can wait until next month or wait until week after next or something like that, push them off. If it's something that can wait, push it off, because right now we're trying to create momentum for your business. We want to grow right now. So it's important that you're focusing and that you're definitely getting in your income producing activity, that list of 8 items, at least 4 times a week. So those things would be essential, the ones that are on that list. Whatever it is, your big rocks, big projects, maybe you are going to lead a Zoom call for your team, or maybe you're going to get 3 people into our next 3-day challenge. These things are the essential things. I want you to highlight those. Grab a highlighter and highlight the things that are like your big rocks. That if you do those things, you will be making you'll be moving the needle in a significant way toward your goal. Once you've highlighted those things that are the essential ones, now I want you to open your planner and I want you to find a home for every single one of those essential items. Plug them into your planner in a way that makes sense for you, that works for you. And whenever on our weekend review, I always ask you to tell me your time blocks for the coming week. I'm not asking for those for my benefit. I'm asking you to do that so that you will be thinking about your time block, so that you will be going through the process of this activity to plan for your week ahead so that you can be the most effective with your time. So open your planner, find a home for each activity in some type of a time block. And then by doing that, by giving every item on your brain dump a home, your mind then can rest and you can have peace, knowing that you've got that scheduled out, you've got it plugged in, and there will be a point in time in the coming week that you're going to have to be able to get that done. I want to tell you, always leave 30 to 60 minutes of just personal time. This is for your exercise, your growth, your reading, just quiet time. Those things that really help to fill you up and recharge and energize you. You've got to be sure you're setting aside that time for you. Because again, you are the steam engine that is pulling your momentum train. You want to make sure that you have plenty of steam, that you're energized, that you are being refilled on a daily basis. So be sure and take time for you. And then finally, stick with your plan. Make a commitment to yourself that if there is something on a given day, say it's Monday, I am going to do everything on this day and nothing more. Don't try to do things for later in the week. Stick to what you have. You don't want to get burned out, but you do want to fulfill the commitment to yourself. You said that you would do these things. You know that these are things that you've planned that are important for you reaching your goals. So stick with your plan and get them done. And especially that IPA, that income producing activity that we know are the big rocks for your business. Don't decide you're going to organize your closet on Monday at 2 p.m. if that's when you were planning to do your reach outs. You didn't schedule that on your calendar for the coming week. So no, that's not when you're going to do it. You're going to do your reach outs. You're going to do what you said that you would do. So here's a few other just pro tips for planning. Decide who and when for tomorrow. So think about, so you're going to do 3 reach outs and 4 follow-ups each day, or at least 4 days a week. Well, the night before, think about who are those 3 people. And that's going to make you so much more efficient once you're actually working your business during that time. So decide who and when each evening for the next day during that block of time that you're planning to do your reach outs and your follow-ups. Set a timer for your time block. If you've set aside 2 hours to work your business, set a timer for 2 hours. And when that goes off, stop. Because number one, it'll discipline you to be more efficient with your time. You're not going to get lost doing like silly stuff. If you have a 2-hour block that you've got, these items that you've listed that need to get done, you're not going to be scrolling Facebook, or you're not going to get distracted. You're going to be focused and disciplined because you know that a timer's about to go off and you've got to get your stuff done. And when that timer goes off, this will teach you to just be more disciplined with your time, and teach you also how to work faster and get more done with your time. Set limits. I want you to be proactive with your time, not reactive. You decide when you're going to check social media. You schedule in when you're going to check your email and when you're going to check Facebook Messenger. And it should be after you've done your income producing activity, your reach outs and your follow-ups, because one message in Facebook Messenger can completely change the course of your time. And so just be disciplined with that. And you decide, you be the boss over your schedule, and you decide when you're going to check those things and how much time you're going to spend in those areas. Set a limit on for yourself on social media, for Messenger, for email, and then stick with that. That's going to help you to be so much more proactive versus reactive. Also, think about the times of days where you really feel your best and your mental clarity and you're thinking clearly and you have the most energy. And do your big rocks during those times. It's going to help you to be more effective. I want to challenge you. Are you busy, or are you just playing busy? Are you always saying, I'm just so busy, I'm so busy? We all know people are like so busy all the time. No, busy is a lie. You have a blessing, first of all, in your Plexus business. That is a blessing. Your family is a blessing. Your health is a blessing. I want to challenge you to stop saying I'm busy and start saying my life is full and I am productive. Change your thinking. You are productive. You are a conscious creator. Your life is full and you are making a difference for people. You're making a difference in the lives of people. So having a full life and a productive life is a blessing. Saying I'm busy, that almost feels like I don't know, produces some anxiety, or it's almost like a negative thing. No, you are productive, you have a full life, and you're a blessing. So Don't be playing busy. And finally, stay flexible. Life happens. Emergencies come up. You might sign a new ambassador that you were not expecting them to be a runner. And you need to adjust what you're doing and adjust your schedule, because you are going to start partnering with them, doing Zooms with them, doing FaceTimes with them, giving them messages, helping them to figure out, their list of 20 or 50 people to start reaching out to. And you're going to start running with them and helping them to get to silver and beyond. So, and then there's we know things happen just in life, that crises can happen and things like that. So of course, this is flexible, but like I mentioned before, you have to have a plan in order to be progressing towards those goals. And so that's the idea here. And then evaluate that schedule on a daily and weekly basis. You might think, you know what, I wish last week I would have done a little more recognition. So this coming week, I'm going to make sure and schedule more of that in. Your life and your schedule is not necessarily about balance. It's actually more about harmony. So there are going to be times where, think of like when you go to like a concert hall or you hear an orchestra or something, there are going to be times where the percussion is really loud and everything else is very quiet. And then other times where the trumpets are loud or the violins are really loud and everything else is quiet. That's the same with your schedule and your life. There will be times where you're going to put a lot of effort into a certain area of your schedule, and other things may come down a little bit. But then you're going to adjust and have other parts of your life that you're putting more time and energy and effort into. Just as long as it is getting you closer to your goals, both in life and in business, that harmony is fine. So don't feel like my life has to be balanced. It's not like that. There are always going to be times you're giving more energy to different areas because the situation demands it. And in the case of like a new level 1 ambassador that wants to grow a business, what a huge blessing. I mean, that's like the best ever. So allow yourself to have that flexibility and to evaluate on a daily and weekly basis. So here are just a few quotes that I think really nicely sum this up. Good planning without good working is nothing. You can plan all day long, but if you don't actually do the items and actually mark them off your list, it's not worth doing. So make sure you're doing the planning, but then you're also doing the working, the actual activity. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. So I love whenever I hear people say, I want to rank up, or I hope that I rank up, or I sure do wish I could hit gold. That's great. But you have to put the energy in the planning of the actual steps that are going to get you there. So don't just wish, plan, okay? But finally, first comes thought, then organization of that thought into ideas and plans, then transformation of those plans into reality. But the beginning, as you will observe, begins in your imagination. I want to challenge you. All of these things are very practical tips to help you to schedule your time and work towards your goals. But what I want to challenge you guys to do is imagine big. Allow your imagination to go with what those thoughts are about where you are headed. We have such an opportunity at our fingertips, especially at this time in history. We have products that people need. We have a business opportunity that people need. Dream big. We have community, which is something people are just longing for. So I just want to challenge you. If the thought is what comes first, and then you organize that thought into ideas and plans, and then those plans become reality, what are you thinking? What are you dreaming? Make those dreams big. You just got this one life. You might as well. So make those dreams big, and they start in your imagination. So thank you guys for joining me.